All right, much better. Aloha and shalom. For those of you who are new to these activations, they don't necessarily have anything to do with the moon. The moon is just a measurement of time. Whatever's going on with the moon at the particular phase that we're doing the activation is just kind of reflecting what's going on inside of us. So the light of the moon reflects the light of the sun, reflects the light of the one that exists within all things. That means that at this time, for the first quarter moon, we are 1 week after the new moon, meaning last week we began a new cycle and we got an idea for what we were getting ourselves into. And now, 1 week into it, we've experienced a little bit of it and we're ready to see what's next. So we check in at the first quarter to kind of ask for some guidance as to how to move forward with the most grace and ease at this point in the cycle. So I'm just shuffling the cards as y'all tune in. As usual, I'm tuning in from the amazing Sedona, Arizona. And I'd love to hear where you guys are tuning in from around the world. So just drop a comment and let me know, where in the world are you? And as you look and you see everybody dropping a comment where they're from, you can see that this is the web we are creating around the world right now. We're unifying our energies wherever we are in the world, meeting in this here now moment. We want to tune into the biggest space possible to create the most room for this message to enter. Because energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be transformed. We want to consider what is the biggest space that already exists. And of course, that is the heart space because it's infinite. So if we tune in there, here, now, together, we can tune into the best space possible to receive this message. Not only because it's the roomiest space, but it's also the most delicious space for us to meet. It's the place where we truly, truly meet as one. And that gives us the best foundation to receive this wisdom that's on its way to us here now. So whatever thoughts you've been carrying, whatever heavy emotions you've been carrying all day, maybe all week, maybe for months, just set it aside for this moment, for this activation. Thank you, archetypes in advance, faces of the one in advance, for showing us what we need to see at this time, at this point in this cycle, so that we can move forward efficiently and gracefully, and with the least amount of crisis. All right, I feel a very specific question coming up, so I'm going to jump in. The first question is, what is something that was unexpected that we are now dealing with? What's the biggest challenge for us in general right now, which clearly has to do with this surprise element that we just pulled? And what is this? What is this for? What is it all for? What's the foundation? What is this experience we're going through going to show us at the end of it all? Why are we in it right now? Okay, beginning with the very first card. What is the surprise element that we're facing right now? Something that we didn't expect. Maybe this is something that last month we never would have seen coming. Four of Wands, and it's funny because this actually was in last month's activation, so so that's funny. Funny that this is something that we weren't expecting. And right away, something that comes up is, I feel for a lot of us right now, we're experiencing hints as to what we really want to lock into our realities. We are being given opportunities for the long run. And we're like, whoa, I'm not really sure if this is what I want. Or maybe it is, and I just never thought about that before. So we're being given opportunities right now that are going to affect us in the long run. And we just weren't expecting it. And so the decisions right now that we have to make are maybe feeling heavy, maybe feeling really intense. We might feel a lot of pressure about the decisions that we're having to make right now because they are going to contribute to the long-term future that we're going to experience. So what we do right now is going to affect us in the far stretching future. Okay, Four of Wands. Wands is fire, it's spirit. It's the suit of spirit. And 4 is stability, foundation, structure. So there are experiences right now that are going to shape who we are in the long run. The decisions that we're making right now on our spiritual path are going to affect who we become for the long run. It's not just for temporary. The decisions that we're being faced with right now are going to affect us for a very long time. Okay. The challenge we're having with this. 10 of Swords, known as the Lord of Ruin. However, when you consider what it is we're actually trying to ruin, it can be a positive thing. It all depends on how you look at it. So this is the challenge for this. Okay, right now we are receiving opportunities to shape who we truly are. It's going to affect us for a long time. And the struggle with that is we're struggling to let go of who we're not really. There are certain parts of our identity that we have created that aren't actually who we are. There are certain bits of our personality, of our identity right now, that are a reflection of who we were. And I'm saying these pieces can even be a reflection of who we were just yesterday. It could be just yesterday that we formed these pieces of who we are, but they still need to be let go. Okay, so there are pieces of us that we've created, aspects of our personality that we've built, that are a reflection of old, painful, outdated experiences. Okay, so those parts of us, even if they were just invented yesterday, even if yesterday you designed some aspect of your personality, it's still important to look at that and ask, is it really who I am though? Because only today is this opportunity opening up for us to really take a look at all of the ways that we've formed our current personality, our current identity. Okay, today is the day to look at all of these ways that we've built up who we are in this moment. And to ask ourselves, even if it was just yesterday that I've accepted certain things about myself, or that I've told myself I should behave this way, or I should look this way, or act that way, or speak that way, even if it was just yesterday, it's time to reevaluate. It's time to reconsider. It's time to really ask myself with a fresh perspective, is this identity that I've created for myself a reflection of truly who I am in this moment and who I want to be in the long run? Or is this way that I've designed my identity really partly a reflection of the pain that I've been through in the recent past, or even in the distant past? What parts of my identity are a reflection of past pain and past experiences? It's time to let go of those things once and for all. It's time to build my identity in a way that is going to reflect who I want to be in the future, who I want to continue to be. I want to make sure that every part of my identity that I build up today, now, in the present, is going to reflect qualities that are going to help me and us as one in the long run. I want to cultivate those qualities that are going to help me and help us as one in the long run. Okay? So, and this is interesting, something that I'm seeing is there's a lot of stuff that we need to let go of. And looking at the way that we've created our identity, that we've shaped our identity, is going to help us not only become the best version of ourselves, but also let go of all of those old things that we've used as the building blocks for this identity. Okay, so as we go through this process of being like, where did I weave the pain into who I currently am? We're not only going to say, oh, well, I don't want that to be a part of who I am. I want to be this. We're also saying, I'm letting go of all those experiences. Okay, so as we shift our personality, as we mold our identity, we're also really clearing out old experiences that we were allowing to be a part of us. It's almost like we have put on this coat, right? Let's say the identity is the coat, and we have woven this coat out of the fabrics of, or materials of, past experiences. Okay, and we're like, what's so bad? Whatever, it shaped me, it made me who I am, right? Yeah, sure, okay, whatever. But in doing that, we sometimes weave in the old emotions and parts of those old experiences that actually don't serve us. So we need to be careful what materials we are using to build who we currently are. And in this process of unraveling that material, right, and creating a new material, a new coat, we're literally letting go of old experiences that for whatever reason we've been holding on to. Maybe we've felt comfortable. Maybe we've felt like we weren't ready to let go. But it's time for a new coat. It's time for a new coat. And as we put on that new coat, and take off the old one, right? As we put on that new coat and drop off the old one, we effortlessly drop off all of those old experiences and all of the tiny little programs that snuck in with those experiences that were coattailing on those memories. Okay, so it's like you're taking off this coat, and you can try a visualization. You can close your eyes and you can imagine taking off this coat that represents your identity. It's a coat that's made up of all of these old experiences. You're taking it off, and you're making a new coat now. Okay, what is this for? This is the third card here. What is this all for? Why are we doing this? Why are we making this new coat? Yeah. Why are we making this new coat? And the major arcanum appears, and it's the sun. And just look at it, even if you've never seen it before. It's self-explanatory. We're taking off that coat so that we can shine, baby. So that the light can shine through. So that we can shine out that light that we've cultivated through all of the hard work that we've done on our path up until this point. We want to shine our light, show how far we've come. And we can only do that when we remove the layers. We want to shine our most authentic and truest light. And when we cover it up with all of the pain and the suffering of the past, we can't really shine like we're meant to. So we're taking off that old coat. We're doing this work, thinking about who we want to be in the long run. Letting go of all those old materials we were building our coat with, letting go of the past, letting go of the pain, starting fresh so that we can truly shine. Okay, there's a little bit of symbolism I want to share with you here. The child on the horse is naked. He's naked because there are no layers covering him, clouding him. No delusions, no veil, just bare. Transparency, vulnerability, authenticity. There's no bridle on the horse because once we integrate new programming it becomes effortless. It becomes ingrained within us. It becomes natural. And so we don't need the bridle on the horse. That's what that represents. And I love that. We're talking about the coat and taking it off. And then there's that naked baby, right? Representing us in our innocence and in our truth. And when we have that coat on, it can represent guilt, shame. Those are the things we carry with us all too often. And guilt and shame are the lowest frequencies. And we need to take it off. We need to take off that coat and that heavy layer of guilt and shame. Because until we do, we can't be that naked innocence that we need to be for the true light of the sun within to shine forth into this world. So he was a perfect symbol there. And see that wall behind him. Check it out. First of all, the sunflowers aren't facing the sun. They're facing him because he's the true sun. And then there's this cement wall here, and it's showing that he's protected. He's protected from all gross and profane things, from the perverted minds of men, because he is in his truth. He is protected. None can enter the kingdom of heaven unless he be like a child, right? Famous quote. Unless we be like children, we cannot enter the gates of heaven. So that coat that contains all the shame, the guilt, the pain, the suffering, that's not the coat of an innocent child. And so if we want to enter the gates, we've got to take it off. That wall also represents the connecting factor of the two pillars that would typically be on either side. It's the middle path. You've probably heard of this before, the middle path, walking the middle path, walking the path of balance. And when we do that, when we walk the path of balance, balance of mercy and severity, balance of masculinity and femininity, activity and receptivity, when we remain balanced in the center, then we can really shine. All right, awesome, guys. The message seems pretty straight to the point. Thank you for opening up this portal with me on the first quarter moon. We're shaping who we truly are and who we want to be in the long run, meaning we are cultivating qualities that are timeless, timelessly applicable to reality, based in timeless truth and universal law. That's what we want our focus to be right now, as we shape who we truly are, as we take off that coat, as we let go of all those old, painful memories that we were weaving our coat from. We take that coat off, and we build who we really want to be from the bottom up, right? Wands, fire, spirit world, which is the world of causes. The world you see is the world of effects. So we're going to that unseen world, the world of causes, and from there we're going to build who we are. And from there we're going to choose to cultivate qualities that are forever useful, that are always worthy of our effort, our attention, and our awareness. Cultivating the light of the virtues is never futile. It's never wasteful. It's always 100% on time, right? When we're focusing on cultivating the light of the virtues, there's nothing better we could be doing in that moment. So we feel good about ourselves. We feel like we're doing our best when we're focusing our awareness, directing our energies into those proper channels to cultivate a virtuous frequency. That can never be wrong. And so why I'm saying this is because it's like, oh, we'll create a new personality for what? We're just going to throw that out and then have a new one eventually. Yeah, this is the way of the ego, right? It's constantly shifting in order to best serve the one who is always changing, because change is the only constant. However, there is a certain ego that we can move all of the others through. There's a certain ego that's actually sustainable. We can build a personality in reflection of divine and universal law, and this ego becomes sustainable, believe it or not, right? Usually our ego is so disposable. We're constantly recreating it, like I said. And there is a part of us that will always have to do that because we're always learning and we're human, right? But there's also a layer to the ego that can be unchangeable, that can be actually sustainable, that can serve the soul. And this is what we're working on building right now. So as you build this new personality, remember, you're building it upon truth, timeless truth. that is eternally sustainable. Cultivate honesty. Cultivate compassion overall. Compassion is the all virtuous light that contains all other virtues, right? So honesty, patience, being giving. What else? Inclusivity. Being supportive of people around you. Just carrying a good vibration. And you can look up for inspiration. You can research. You can Google. What are the virtues? Okay, pick one and focus on it. Make a list of them and choose any one to focus on at any given time. And you'll never be wrong. Because again, it's never a futile pursuit to cultivate the light of any of the virtues, because they are rivers that all lead to the same ocean of compassion. So when you think about this task right now of building your personality in a way that's sustainable, think about the timeless light of the virtues and know that those are worthy of your effort. Those lights are what want to be integrated into your system, want to be actualized into our world. Okay, so forget all the other stuff you've been trying to integrate into your personality that was just false, an illusion, conjured up from painful experiences of the past. That's not really who you are. You're here to cultivate the light of the virtues and build an ego or personality that's actually sustainable and also in service of the one and of the creator. Okay, so we're doing that right now. Why? So we can shine, so we can be the best version of ourselves, of who we really are. Thank you guys for opening up this portal with me, for activating this message from the archetypes with me. If you know of anyone who could benefit from this message, if you're a part of a group, self-awareness, self-realization, yoga, self-love, any groups like this, spiritual groups, meditation groups, whatever, and you think they would appreciate this message, please go ahead and share it with them and allow them to join us in this portal this week. And hey, know that we do these activations every single week, and they've been going on for years, and I mean really every single week they happen. So please join us anytime, and please share this with anybody you think would want to join us weekly or even just one time. We appreciate your presence in the portal. And know that if you watch this after it's live, it's still perfect. Even if you saw this 5 years from now, this message would be in perfect timing, because there is nothing outside of divine order. Also, thank you guys for your support with my book. I'm almost sold out. I just have a few copies left, and I'm looking forward to getting a nice big batch shortly here, but it's going to be a little bit, so I have just a few left. If you were wanting one, I'm going to be making a shipment this week. It's called The Royal Path, Activating the Archetypal Alliance Within. It is also available on Amazon, but I love sending them to you from my hands to yours, signing them. So thank you for your support. We also have a group on Facebook called The Royal Path. You're welcome to join. We also have another private group on Facebook called Shabbat Crew, and that's where I share about Jewish mysticism and the current Torah story every Friday night. So go ahead and join us if that interests you. I see all your comments. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you guys so much. And very exciting news, my second book is going to be released soon. I'm flying through it, and it's going to be about the minor arcanum, whereas this book is about the major arcanum. My next book is all about the minor arcanum, the rest of the deck. It's a lot about elemental magic, understanding how we are and our reality is made up of the elements, and how to tap into that and use it as magic, perform alchemy in a way that serves not only yourself, but your larger self, of which we are all a part. So I'm very excited about that. It's really a sister book to this one. It goes really well together, but it goes deep. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this activation. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. I love seeing you all here. Thank you so much for connecting with me and for bringing your magic to this portal. Aloha and shalom.